first of all, that in Ottawa, we meet on the traditional unceded territory of the Algonquin people. And all of us in our own territories will have other acknowledgements. In my case, it would be Akwesasne, Haudenosaunee, and Chinantan First Nations, their traditional territories. And pursuant to Standing Order 1082, and the motion adopted by the committee on October 27th, 2020, the committee is resuming consideration, clause-by-clause study of Bill C-15. And it's going to be an interesting day. I just want to thank everyone, first of all, for the way that these meetings have been conducted with regard to Bill C-15. There's some controversy, some differences of opinion, but I think all of our remarks, our debates, our considerations were in the best interests of the people for whom we are working, the First Nations of Canada. And so I appreciate that, and I would anticipate that today's meeting will be conducted in the same manner. And having looked over all of the matters that are coming before us in conjunction and consultation with the legislative clerks, I may be making some rulings as the chair. And I want to assure everybody that none of the rulings are on a partisan basis. They all have to do with the legislative functions, the protocols, the precedents, and so on that are found in that giant green book that only the clerks seem to have a good handle on. But I'm working my way through. I know that our clerk has gotten up to page 250. I'm somewhere still in the preface, but we'll do our best with regard to the rules of Parliament as we move forward. And with us today, we have the witnesses from the Department of Justice, Laurie Sargent, Assistant Deputy Minister, Aboriginal Affairs Portfolio, Sandra Leduc, the Director and General Counsel, Aboriginal Law Centre, Aboriginal Affairs Portfolio, and Corin Marriott, Senior Counsel, Aboriginal Law Centre, Aboriginal Affairs Portfolio. And so in clause-by-clause consideration, the one thing that I will ask us not to do and is rush things through. We want to make sure that when we're done the work today, that is in a form presentable to Parliament. And so we'll begin slowly, pursuant to Standing Order 75-1, consideration of, and the preamble and Clause 1 short title was postponed, as is the precedence and order of work that we do. And so I will now call Clause 2. Clause 2, Bill C-15 provides that the Government of Canada must take all measures necessary to ensure that the laws of Canada are consistent with the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, and must prepare and implement an action plan to achieve the objectives of the Declaration. The amendment seeks to...
Mr. Chair, if I may?
Yes?
Maybe give the floor to the mover of the amendment. She will present it, and you can, after that, if you have something to say after she presents her, moves her amendment or present her amendment.
Absolutely right. And once again, the legislative clerks and our clerks will be stepping in from time to time to ensure that we're moving along in a proper manner. And in this case, the manner provides that our guest today, Ms. Atwin, presents her amendment. And so, Ms. Atwin, can you do that? And then I'll discuss it as I'd already begun. So please go ahead.
Sure. So this is PV1. We're already just making sure. Okay, great. So thank you very much, everyone, for letting me join today. I'm really appreciative. Happy Earth Day as well. I'm coming from the unceded territory of the Wolastoqiyik on the beautiful and bountiful river here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, where I am privileged to work, learn, and live. So the amendment that I'd like to propose, so in Clause 2, by adding after line 11 on page 4, the following. The Government of Canada has the meaning assigned by the definition government institution in Section 3 of the Access to Information Act. So what this kind of expands upon is that any department or ministry of state of the government of Canada or any body of office listed in Schedule 1, and B, any parent Crown corporation and any wholly owned subsidiary of such a corporation within the meaning of Section 83 of the Financial Administration Act. So by means of kind of explaining and defending this amendment, this actually came forward through proposed amendments from the Assembly of First Nations. So the objective of this amendment is to enshrine a clear and positive statement that the legislation binds the Crown and all institutions of the government. Bill C-15 does not expressly affirm that it binds Her Majesty the Queen in right of Canada and all of its institutions. It may be implied, but I'm certainly here just to strengthen the legislation as much as possible. So while arguments can be made that Bill C-15 would implicitly or necessarily bind the Crown because its purpose would be frustrated, and contrary to the spirit of the Act, if the Crown or all governments of Canada institutions were not bound, the courts on this point are by no means clear or consistent in their interpretation. So federal legislation is likewise inconsistent. And in light of this inconsistency and ambiguity, clear and unequivocal expression of legislation intent is required. So again, I'm taking the lead here from some of the discussion that the Assembly of First Nations has put forward, and I ask for your consideration. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Ms. Atwin, and I appreciate your intervention. And I'll go back once again to the review of the matter, which was that Bill C-15 is providing that the Government of Canada must take all measures necessary to ensure that the laws of Canada are consistent with the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, and must prepare and implement an action plan to achieve the objectives of the declaration. The amendment seeks to give the term Government of Canada the meaning of government institution, as it is defined in Section 3 of the Access to Information Act. Thus, the term Government of Canada would have a broader meaning. House of Commons Procedure and Practice, a giant book that I referred to, third edition, states on page 770, an amendment to a bill that was referred to committee after second reading is out of order if it is beyond the scope and principle of the bill. And so, in the opinion of the chair, based on consultation with the legislative group, this new definition of Government of Canada is beyond the scope of the bill. And so I would rule that this amendment is inadmissible. So on that matter, unless there is further discussion, Ms. Atwin, I will leave the ruling as such that your proposed amendment is inadmissible.
No further discussion from me. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thanks, Ms. Atwin. Thank you for that. Moving along, and I apologize. I think like most people in the room, I've got scads of paper all over the place, and it's sometimes hard to put my finger on the exact thing that we need to refer to. So we go now to BQ1, and let me fish that one out, put that one away, and ask you if BQ1 shall carry. All in favor of BQ1?
Mr. Chair, maybe Madam Gill will want to move the amendment and speak to it a little bit.
Ms. Gill, please go ahead with your presentation of the...
Non, il n'y a pas de faute. Merci.
No problem. Thank you. It's clear the idea is to modify this legislation would mean that it would apply to federal law and not within provincial jurisdictions. And so that would include the provinces in Quebec.
Thank you, Ms. Gill. Shall BQ1 carry? Seeing all those opposed to BQ1? Okay, thank you. That amendment is lost. NDP 1. Could I ask Ms. Gazan to present that?
Thank you so much, Chair. Having a bit of technical issues, just to let everybody know right now that I'm trying to resolve. I have a whole bunch of blank pages.
Oh.
But reference, are you speaking in terms of reference 112-36767? Is that
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay,
that's
perfect.
That's it.
Yeah, so our proposed amendment that Bill C-15 in Clause 2 be amended by adding after line 25 on page 4 the following: for greater certainty, the rights of Indigenous peoples, including treaty rights, are capable of growth and evolution, and a frozen rights theory is incompatible with Section 35 of the Constitution Act of 1982. I think this is an amendment certainly that has been brought up by elected and unelected leadership throughout the country in terms of the importance of a clear definition of the living tree doctrine. And so my amendment reflects that.
Thanks, Ms. Kazan. Now let me just apologize. It's technical issues all over the place. Actually, my printer didn't work this morning until I finally got it fixed. So we will probably be a little sluggish as we get things rolling here, and I apologize for that. But on the amendment, yes, Mr. Anandasangari, first of all, you have your hand up.
I believe Mr. Schmale was ahead of me. Yeah, Mr.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
Oh, thanks, Gary. Appreciate
Jamie,
it.
go ahead.
Just a quick question in regards to the last motion, the block motion. It failed. Who was it? The Liberals and the NDP who voted against it? Because I didn't see who. I couldn't. My Hollywood squares here didn't show anything, so I didn't even see who voted and who didn't.
Let me ask the clerk what the most efficacious way we could handle the
yes,
the matter.
If the amendment's not carried or carried on division, then the most appropriate way to deal with it would be recorded vote. The options for decisions on amendments are consensus agreement, agreement on division, and recorded vote.
I thought we had consensus, but I'm open to any other suggestions. Mr. Anandasangari and then Ms. Gill.
Mr. Chair, I'm going to speak to the amendment, if that's okay.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So, really want to acknowledge and appreciate the work of Ms. Kazan in this regard, and we definitely support the intent behind this amendment. The Supreme Court has repeatedly indicated that.
Mr. Chair, can we just back up for a second here? We're zooming back and forth a little bit. The last amendment, it seems to have failed on division. I would hope that would be the case, but I don't realize if I gave an indication whatsoever. I was sitting here waiting for a recorded division. Or
fine, we'll do that again. We'll resolve that issue. It seemed to me, on my view of the gallery, that the motion was lost, but we'll move.
Well, I guess if we want to do that, all I need is from Ms. Gazan where she was on that one. I couldn't see from here where that went.
Okay, so I'll go back to Mr. Anandasangari, who has the floor, and call on point of order if you wish to intervene in the future.
There is a point of order, which is basically.
J'avais un appel au règlement, mais
the point of order is could you just the point of order.
Simplement parce que j'avais levé la main.
I had a point of order. I had raised my hand earlier, Mr. Chair.
Please, if you're going to intervene, raise your hand. Ms. Gill has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That does help. For the order of speaking, I wanted to intervene following what my colleague said, because I think that it wasn't exactly clear for the next block amendments so that they're in the same. I would like to ask you to go through the roll call, because I don't think you can necessarily see very well for the vote. So I'd like it to be clear in terms of taking of positions. Thank you very much.
Mr. Pawlowski.
I was just going to agree with Mr. Viersen that could we not possibly be a little more specific as to where the amendment is going? Because I mean, you cite amendment, blah blah blah, but I don't know which section is being amended. It's not clear to me. But could we just say like section 2, where the proposal is to amend it in such and such? So I'm just not clear where these proposed amendments are going. Like Mr.
Okay,
Viersen.
thank you. Thanks for that. When the motion is presented, there's reference in the proposal to what you're asking, but we'll go over that again. Mr. Ananda Sangri.
Mr. Chair, if I may just come back to her amendment. In the meantime, for the benefit of the members, I just want to suggest that they pull out the agenda that was circulated by the clerk. The agenda has a very clear outline of what's being discussed today, corresponding to the package that was sent by the clerk last night or earlier this morning, with one addition that was sent by me this morning. So I do think for the benefit of the members, it'll be good to have all of that available, whether it be printed or on the computer, so that people could follow that.
Yes, thank you for that, because the clerks did quite a bit of work to inform members of the committee. And I think that if you don't have the printed material in front of you, it will be somewhat laborious to reinterpret everything from the chair as we proceed. So you should have quite a group of pages stating the various amendments. They're all here in front of us. And so on the request of Mr. Ananda Sangri and Ms. Gill, I'm going to ask that we revert to the matter that wasn't apparently clearly handled, and ask about the blocks of, or rather, let's start with Miss Atwin's. Okay, now Miss Atwin, I ruled that it was inadmissible. So that's clear, and we move past that to the first block. And on the block amendment, all those in favor of the block amendment, please raise your hand.
Mr. Chair, I suggest that you ask for a recorded division. It's going to be clear at this time.
We'll do a recorded division on the advice of the legislative clerk. So Mr. Clerk, please go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Chair. So recorded division for NDP, for BQ1.
Mr. Clerk, apparently we've lost technically one of our members of the committee. So I'm going to ask to suspend until Mrs. Zan is able to return to the group. Briefly suspended. Sorry about all this, folks.
Chair, since we've suspended, could I?
moment of suspension, we were going to take a recorded division on the block amendment. So, Mr. Clerk.
So yes, recorded division on BQ1. Mr. Anandasangri.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pulaski. Mr. Pulowski.
Against.
Thank you. Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Miss Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
I vote in favor.
Mr. Malilo.
In favor. Thank you.
Mr. Vidal.
In favor.
Mr. Viersen.
In favor.
Madame Gill.
En faveur.
Miss Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, in favor 6, against 5.
All right.
My mistake, Mr. Chair. This nays 6, yays 5.
We need to be satisfied with that count. Nays 6, yays 5. That means that the vote is lost. Are we satisfied with that? I hope we've done that one right. And then we go to, in the same manner, division on NDP 112367667. Mr. Clerk, can I call for a recorded division on that, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Recorded vote on NDP 1. Mr. Anandasangri.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pulowski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Miss Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
I vote against.
Mr. Malilo.
Against.
Mr. Vidal.
Against.
Mr. Viersen.
Against.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Miss Gazan.
In favor.
Mr. Chair, nays 10, yays 1.
Thank you. So that's lost. And so shall, in view of the votes that have taken place, shall clause 2 carry? All
On
in
division.
favor? On division. Is that a record? You're requesting a recorded division, Mr. Anandasangri?
Sorry, no, Mr. Chair. I think
I think on division's fine, isn't it?
Okay. Anyone opposed to clause 2 carrying? Seeing none, clause 2 show. I'm sorry.
Sorry. I just want to put on the record that, we're voting against this. This is something that clearly came from First Nations leadership, on the ground peoples, and it's unfortunate that we are voting against the voice of Indigenous peoples on the committee. I just want to have that on record. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Ms. Kazan. And so clause 2 has carried. Shall clause 3 carry? Anyone opposed to clause 3? Ms. Gill, your hand is up. Is that still from before, or do you wish to speak now?
Non, ça va aller, monsieur.
No, I'm fine. Thank you, Mr. Chair. It was a follow-up question. You were talking about the NDP2. Is that where you are at?
Non, c'est beau, parce que j'ai entendu Mme Gazan et je pensais que c'est sur celui-ci qu'elle parlait. Parfait. Merci.
Okay, that's fine. I thought so. That's where we were. Thank you.
Clause 3. Shall Clause 3 carry? Anyone opposed to Clause 3? On division, we will carry Clause 3. Now we move to Clause 4. And we have NDP 2, Amendment 112146963, Ms. Gazan.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. I'm just sorry. Just to change that the bill C15 in clause 4 be amended by replacing in the English version line 1 on page 5 with the following, that the purposes of the act are to, and then going forward.
Any comment on that?
It's more of a grammatical correction, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Clerk, it's a good question. So would we need an amendment to have the proper grammar in the published version of the bill?
Mr. Chair, I will not comment on the amendment itself, but if Ms. Gazan wants to move it, yeah, she's allowed to move this kind of amendment.
Okay. I'm just wondering whether such issues would be captured in another way other than amendments, but on the amendment, is there any comment? In favor of
Ms.
sorry.
Gill, Madam Gill has her hand up.
Oh, Ms. Gill, sorry.
I had a question with respect to grammatical symmetry. What I understand is that in the English text, you want it in plural, and in French it would be the singular. So I'm wondering, why would one want to what was the motivation for an asymmetrical suggestion?
Well, I think perhaps you've caught us in being more alert to these things, and so I take that, and I guess a friendly amendment would be to Ms. Gazan.
Mr. Chair, if I may, the question could be addressed to the department. They could help to answer this question on that amendment.
So, Ms. Gazan, I'm going to ask the department to reflect on your amendment with Ms. Gill's comment in mind.
That's fine, Mr. Clerk. Or sorry, Mr. Chair. Sorry.
Okay. Mr. Schmale, you have your hand up?
I have a comment, but not about the bill, on something else. So I'll wait till this is done. But
okay,
if you come back to me when we're done.
Let's clear this up.
Mr. Chair, yeah, I'm not sure if we're being called upon, so I would be happy to pass it to Corin Marriott to speak to that issue of drafting.
So the Interpretation Act already provides that singular text is read to include the plural, and plural is read to include the singular. And because the French version is drafted in the singular, most often they try to draft the English purpose clauses also in the singular to keep that symmetry, as was discussed.
So could I ask the clerks then, how should we resolve this amendment?
Mr. Chair, the amendment is on the floor. It's the committee to decide if they want to adopt it or to defeat it.
Okay, so Ms. Gazan, you further comment?
I just think that we could put this to a vote just so we can move on, Mr. Chair.
Move on.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone opposed to the amendment?
Yep.
Please raise your hand.
Arnold.
All is opposed?
I'm opposed.
Okay, so any further opposition? See none, so that is carried, and the legislative advice that we have is that it will be translated in the plural as well in the French. Is that okay, Ms. Gill?
Mr. Chair, no, the amendment says that it's going to be plural in English, and it's going to say stay like this in French. It won't be changed because the amendment is only changing the English version.
Et Monsieur le Président, j'avais levé la main également parce que
I had raised my hand also because I wanted to say that I would like vote against it.
Vote against it.
Ouais.
That's right.
We're
delaying on somewhat
Chair,
of a subtle matter. Yes, go ahead. Please.
If I may suggest, on all amendments, maybe having a recorded division will clarify this kind of gray area all the time. Ask for a recorded division on each amendment, and it's going to be clear for everybody.
On this amendment, the advice is that we go to a recorded division. So we'll do that. And Mr. Clerk, please.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Recorded division on NDP 2. Mr. Nandasangari.
Yes.
Mr. Batiste.
Yes.
Mr. Pawlowski.
4.
Mr. Vancouverden.
4.
Mrs. Zan.
Yes.
Mr. Schmale.
Yes.
Mr. Malilo.
Yes.
Mr. Vidal.
Yes.
Mr. Viersen.
No.
Madame Gill.
contre.
Ms. Kazan.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, yeas 9, nays 2.
Thank you. The amendment is carried. Now we move to CPC 1, the conservative 112534331. Mr. Viersen, or who will present that?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move this motion to amend Bill C-15 in Clause 4 by deleting lines 2 to 4 on page 5. We heard repeatedly from testimony that that piece of the bill does not really do anything. It is merely a notional statement. It doesn't change the way the laws in Canada operate, and so I would recommend that we just strike that from the bill, that this bill would be only to provide a framework for the government to implement the declaration. We heard from Adam Bond, the legal counsel for NWAC, that this was merely a window dressing, and so this I would say that this piece would be better suited not in the bill, so as to not give undue that this would not signal in any way that that the declaration becomes Canadian law, and so that I think that's important that we strike this from the bill so that we are saying what we mean and meaning what we say when we're legislating in this country. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Mr. Viersen. I take it that it's the wish of the committee that we go on recorded divisions throughout the rest of our work today. So I will ask the clerk to record this division.
If I may, Mr. Chair, when the mover moved the amendments, maybe other members wants to add something. Maybe just ask the question before going to the final question.
The division?
Just to make sure that everybody.
I'm not seeing any hands up with regard. I see one now, Mr. Nandasangari.
Mr. Chair, just for the record, this really undermines the purpose of the bill. This is fundamental to the bill, and we believe that it should stay. I can comment a lot further on this, but I think I'll keep it at that for brevity.
Further discussion.
Mr. Chair, Arnold.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I would just say that we heard repeatedly that this does not change the outcome of the bill substantially. There is no need to have this in the bill, as the declaration is something that is used in Canadian courts already as a framework. and that establishing this as a bill taking this out of the bill will just clarify the fact that the declaration doesn't have any substantial effect on the Canadian law. We're looking at ensuring that the framework comes in, not necessarily that the declaration is Canadian law. I think I've said that already. I think it's important that we don't signal that this is something new. As we heard from the department, no other UN declaration has this been applied to. The application in Canadian law of a UN declaration is novel in this bill, and I would say that for clarity around drafting of Canadian law, we should just strike this out. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Further comment? Mr. Clerk on recorded division.
Again, Mr. Chair, sorry to intervene. Maybe before going to the vote, you might want to inform the committee if CPC1 is adopted, the consequence on the following amendment.
There's quite a bit of subtlety in our agenda today, and I've just been reminded of a further one, which is that if CPC1 is adopted, Block 2, the following amendment cannot be moved because of a line conflict. So let's go back now to the recorded division on 1.
This is a recorded division on Amendment CPC 1. And Mr. Hernandez-Angri.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pawlowski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Ms. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Melillo.
In favor.
Mr. Vidal.
In favor.
Mr. Viersen.
In favor.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 7, yeas 4.
Thank you. That amendment is defeated. And so we go to the Block 2, 11249061. Ms. Gill.
Mr. Chair, for the same reasons as earlier, for us, the Canadian rights that includes the provinces in Quebec, so that would be an infringement. So we don't want to. I would propose that we substitute federal for Canadian.
Thank you. Mr. Schmale, you had your hand up.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. This was just in regards to a process question. I didn't want you to move on until I had a chance to address this. I don't know if now's the time because we're now discussing a motion.
Could I conclude this motion and then ask you to bring your matter up?
Don't forget. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Mr. Pawlowski.
Now, I'm new to this, but I would like to know exactly what I'm voting on. I do have the proposed amendments, the documents sent to me on this computer. On my other computer, I actually have the Act C15, but the proposed amendment is saying line 3 on page 5. On my C15, I don't have any page number or line number, so I'm not sure where the amendment is going. It would be nice to know exactly what the proposed change is. Is there a document I'm missing here that would make this easier for me?
Mr. Clerk, reference to that?
Mr. Pawlowski, I don't know if you have page 5 of your bill in front of you.
I just don't have a page number on the bill. I have a bill, but it's the computer version, as far as I see, has no page number on it.
Yeah, it's the line number is in the middle between the two columns. You have a little 5, little 10, little 15, 2025. These are the line numbers in English. In French, it's on the right side of the page. Yeah, and the page number is at the bottom of the page in the middle. You have the line numbers and the page number.
Not on the version I'm looking, but I'll figure it out. Thanks.
Marcus, I think Jaime's trying to give you a demonstration.
Yeah, someone is showing the page number. Mr. Batiste is showing the page number right now.
Yeah, the version I have doesn't show that, but I'll try to find out.
I can tell you that it goes, you can see section 4A, it says affirm the declaration as a universal international, and the second line starting with human rights, the amendments change this line with human rights instrument with application in federal law.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Pawlowski, if you click on PDF, because I got the same, I had the same problem. If you click on the PDF, if you scroll up to the top, there's a little red square. It says PDF. Then you'll get the page numbers and line numbers.
Thanks, Arnold. Thanks, Marcus. So on the block amendment, shall it carry?
Yes.
On recorded division. Sorry. Bill?
Est-ce qu'on demande un vote par appel nominal, Monsieur le Président?
Are we doing it by roll call, Mr. Chair?
We will be recorded division on everything today.
Merci.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's coming, Mr. Chair. I think the clerk has a problem with his computer.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. We're just going to get underway now. The vote on CPC on BQ2. So the recorded vote on BQ2. Mr. Hernandez-Sangre.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pawlowski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Ms. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
For.
Mr. Melillo.
I'm in favor.
Mr. Vidal. Mr. Vidal.
Sorry, in favor. I lost my mute button.
Mr. Viersen.
In favor.
Madame Gill.
Pour.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 6, yeas 5.
The amendment is lost. Shall clause 4 carry?
Okay, hang on, Mr. Chair. I wanted to go
at that
back
point,
to my
did you
issue.
want to intervene?
Yes, I do, please. I think with everything going on, I think we all have papers everywhere. Clearly, there's back and forth. I'm at some points I'm having the same problem Mr. Polanski is doing. There are amendments that we wanted to raise in the previous section. Can we go line by line? I think that would be a lot easier for everyone, but then bouncing around from place to place. Because otherwise I need to go back because there is motions I wanted to raise in the clarification section. So line by line is how I used to do it in previous committees. So is there a possibility of doing that?
There is. Mr. Hernandez-Sangre has his hand up. I'll ask him.
So just to clarify, Jamie, so the preambular, like all the motions relating to the preamble, is going to be at the end, if I'm not mistaken. So what we started off with is with clause 2, which was the first amendment, and all the other. What I can see from the agenda that was provided is that there's a number of CPC amendments that are coming forward, and at the end for the preamble, there's I don't see any CPC amendments in the preamble, but all the others Sorry, I believe that there's only one CPC amendment that's here. And the rest of them I don't see. I don't know if Mr. Clerk could clarify if there's more.
We do have something on the floor, Gary, that I was hoping to raise.
Yes, if I may, we received only one CPC amendment. In the package, we have only one CPC amendment.
So, Jamie, the only thing that we're not doing right now is the preamble, which will be at the end. So if there's, we are going clause by clause right now. We're just completing clause 4, and we will proceed, I think, as per the agenda, right through. So if there's amendments that are from the floor, then I would respectfully submit that you bring it up when they come up.
Well, that's the problem we're trying to, and I think even there are people even on your team that are having issues with this. I think line by line would clarify this a lot easier. I don't know. Maybe am I the only one bouncing around here, going from page to page? And
well,
so right now we're in clause 4. Like, just to clarify, we're in clause 4, and we're at the stage where we've dealt with the amendments relating to clause 4 that have been given notice, and we're going to pass clause 4. So if there's an objection to, or if you want to bring something up on clause 4, this may be the time, and the chair could rule on its whether
admissibility.
Admissibility, and then we go on to clause 5. There's one amendment for clause 5, and again, if there's a discussion on that, if there's additional amendments from the floor, I believe they can come forward at that point. So we are essentially going clause by clause right now, Jim.
I believe,
Jamie,
Mr. Chair, I think what Mr. Schmel is getting at is I think we had an amendment we were going to try to move from the floor for clause 2, so page 4, line 25 around, and that's the point is that we skipped right over that. If we could go line by line, when I've done bills line by line in the past, the chair would go, does line 3 carry? Does line 4 carry? Does line 5 carry? And then when we get to the end of the clause, then we would go, does the entire clause carry? And that's the trouble is that when you're moving very quickly, and by the time we get organized, we see things. By the time we get organized, you're already onto the entire clause being carried, rather than and like, believe me, I've got a mess of papers going on here as well. I'm busy trying to find the next amendment that I'm going to be working on, and you're already onto the entire clause being carried. So I think that's the challenge that we're up against.
I understand, Mr. Viersen, but the bill has been we've had it for weeks, if not months. And I would think that if the amendments have not been brought forward in the timeline that was prescribed, then I'm not sure I'd like to admit further ones. And I as the chair, I'm wondering why we need to go line by line over a document that we've had for so long and considered amendments and have had the amendments in our files. So I'm open to any discussion by the committee on that, but I'm reluctant to slow everything. And believe me, the first thing I think I may have referred to is that we want to be careful that we do this properly, and so that our work is correct at the finish. But if we need to go line by line, then I've got to add more papers to a very terrible looking desk, and I don't mind to do that if it's in the best interests of the work that we're doing. So Ms. Kazan, you have your hand up.
I just want to share, Mr. Chair, we were provided adequate time to put in our amendments. I have only received one from the Conservative Party in terms of the articles of the bill. I think it's very clear that we will go line by line in the preamble after we complete this. It's pretty clear to me. It says Article 4, it says Clause 4, and then you just have to look at the number 4. I mean, this is not rocket science, and I think we just need to move on with this.
Thank you. Mr. Schmale?
Chair, that's what we're trying to do, is move on from this. This is like, I'm not I consider myself a veteran, but this is the first time I've done this kind of situation, reviewed, gone clause by clause by this. So this is new to me, and this is my second term. I think it'd be a lot quicker if we did, because we're just bouncing around here, and we had the bill for a while. That is true, but we also have the right and the ability to raise amendments from the floor, and that's what we plan on doing. So I don't think, if you want to move this quickly, let's go line by line and get this done. But we're bouncing around from place to place and trying to figure out where we are. And it's not, you can't just say it's the Conservatives either, because there's other members on this committee who have raised the same concern.
Mr. Anandasangri.
Mr. Chair, just in order to move on, what I'm going to suggest, right now we've dealt with the first 3 clauses, and we're at the point of passing clause 4. If there's no objection to carrying clause 4, let's carry clause 4. Moving forward, let's go to the amendments that have been given notice. Once they're dealt with, open the floor to Mr. Schmale to see if he has amendments relating to clause 5. And in the absence of any, we pass it. If there are amendments, and I would invite you to rule on that. I believe that's probably the most efficient way of dealing with this, rather than doing line by line. This is called a clause by clause meeting, from what I understand, which means that we do typically deal with the entire clause. So I think this is probably a midpoint where we're a bit more efficient, but at the same time allows Mr. Schmale to bring up issues that are pertinent within the context of each of the clauses we're addressing. So right now, just to clarify, we're in clause 4, and we've addressed the 3 amendments that have been given notice. If there are no other additional amendments from the Conservative side, then we should go on to carriage of clause 4 and then on to clause 5.
Ms. Gill.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree, Mr. Chair. I was wanting to vote on a clause, so let's finish this. But I think there's 2 things. First of all, I think I would like to ask all of the parties to be ready with all of the documents in hand to be able to go ahead with this consideration, because we doesn't want it to last too long. So that's one thing. So first, I would hope that if we don't finish today, we'll be able to do it next meeting. And also, I think when you think about democracy, Mr. Schmale from the Conservative Party, if there are amendments to propose, we can go clause by clause from the first clause, as Mr. Atangari said, and we should be able to go quickly through that. But if there are other amendments that should be added, we should be able to receive them before the next meeting. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. So, Mr. Schmale, I'm going to ask that we move on clause 4. Right now, I'm going to ask that we take a recorded division on clause 4 to carry.
Mr. Chair, I do believe we have another amendment for clause 4.
Mr. Viersen, can I ask if there are substantive issues that need to be raised in view of the fact that we've had this material before us for so long and asked for timely submissions of the amendments, the necessity of doing what you're asking?
Chair, so does Arnold have the floor, or did?
Well, I asked Mr. Viersen the question.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to cede my time to Mr. Schmale.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Viersen. So if in fact we do have the ability to raise motions, I would like to raise a motion on an amendment to clause 4. Do you want me to raise that now? Now, again, if we have the chance to do this at the end of the meeting and go line by line, I'm fine with that too. Maybe just some clarification.
Well, I am curious to hear what you suddenly come up with after all this time. So why don't you go ahead with your amendment?
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So in clause 4 under purpose, so the purpose of this act is to, and I would like to strike, affirm the declaration as a universal international human rights instrument with application in Canadian law, and replace it with acknowledge the declaration is a universal human rights instrument containing valuable guidance and reform of federal law. That is the first one. The second one is in B, after provide a framework for the strike Government of Canada's implementation of the declaration and replace it with examination of federal law in light of the declaration.
Now, Mr. Schmale, can you tell me why this suddenly came up?
Because it didn't come up, Chair. This is how I've done it in previous parliament and this parliament. This is the first time I've ever done it this way. So we do have amendments, and when we go line by line, anytime I've ever done this in the past, this is how we've done it.
Well, weren't you doing it line by line in your deliberations prior to this meeting, or did you just suddenly come across those lines?
Well, we have the ability to raise motions from the floor, and that's what we plan on doing. If we had gone line by line at the beginning, we would have been able to sail through this.
I'm not getting the sense that there's a wish from certain people on the committee to sail through this. And I know that...
I'm sorry you're getting that impression.
I know that with the work that has gone on previously, Mr. Schmale, that we were in a position today to complete our work as the timelines projected, and I'm thinking that that's not the intention today.
Mr. Chair, with all due respect, Mr. Chair,
I'm sorry, you don't have the floor. Mr. Schmale has the floor, and go to Mr. Hernandez Sangri, who has his hand raised.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to get some clarification, perhaps from our legislative clerk, in terms of process, and if it is appropriate, then we're prepared to go to vote on these amendments.
Okay. Okay, I can intervene. The process we're using, we're going when we get to an amendment, we're going kind of line by line, and when we get an amendment, the amendment is proposed and disposed of. The fact that these amendments are not in the package and we don't know, we cannot tell you, okay, Mr. Schmale, you have an amendment here, do you want to move it? It's up to you, because I don't have it. I don't know where are your amendments. And when we go through like this, we cannot go back unless we have the unanimous consent to do that. This is a problem you're facing right now. Unless when we start a clause, right at the beginning, you tell us, I have an amendment on that line, and that line. And when we get there, say, okay, you have an amendment, can you tell us? And if you could provide us with a written copy of the amendment, because we have also to look at the admissibility of the amendment and make sure that it goes with other previous amendments who were adopted. I don't know if I'm clear with my explanation, but this is the way we proceed all the time.
Mr. Hernandez Sangri, are you wishing to comment?
Mr. Chair, we'll be prepared to go for a vote on these two amendments.
All right. Is the amendment before the block in French translation?
It doesn't have to be. It's from this floor.
Madam Gill, are you satisfied? Could we have the amendment again?
Sure. A. So in number 4, the purpose of this act is to, I'd like to strike, affirm the declaration as a universal international human rights instrument with application in Canadian law, and replace it with acknowledge the Declaration is as a universal human rights instrument containing valuable guidance for reform of federal law. That's
Is that
A. That's
okay?
A.
All right, I'll take a recorded division unless there are any further comments on the amendment. Recorded division on the amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, may I intervene? I'm the other lead clerk.
Yeah, yep.
If Mr. Schmal could provide us with a written version of the amendment, regardless of the amendment being carried or not, it will figure.
It's on its way.
Oh, thank you, because it will appear in the minutes, so we need to have it for that purpose. Thank you.
Mr. Clerk, the division recorded, please.
J'avais un appel au règlement, Monsieur le Président.
I had a point of order, Mr. Chair. I would have liked to know, I've already asked if we can adopt a motion, but when there are amendments from the floor, if we could have a French translation, that was rejected. And as the clerk can get the English version, would it be possible for you to send it to us? That would be, at the very least, something that would be appreciated for the parties that would like to have it translated. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Clerk, could we go ahead with the recorded division? Clause 4.
Recorded division.
Amendment.
I'm sorry?
On the amendment, please go ahead.
Recorded division on CPC 2. Mr. Nandasangri.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pileski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Ms. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Melillo.
In favor.
Mr. Vidal.
In favor.
Mr. Viersen.
In favor.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 7, yeas 4.
Amendment is lost. Your next amendment, Mr. Schmiel.
Thank you, Chair. In B, after the words provide a framework for the striking Government of Canada's implementation of the Declaration, replace it with examination of federal law in light of the Declaration. And that's amendments intended to ensure that the division of powers are respected so as to avoid impacting provincial jurisdiction. It also affirms that the Declaration is not immediately being applied to Canadian law. Rather, it's a source to assist in implementing federal law. And to my Bloc friend, I do apologize for the lack of French translation.
Mr. Chair, the
yes.
Ledge Clerk, just to ask Mr. Schmale if he could provide us with the written also for the minutes.
I think we're sending everything over.
Ah, perfect.
Thank you. Recorded division.
Just bear with me one moment, Mr. Chair. Recorded division for CPC 3, Mr. Nandasangri.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pileski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Mrs. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Melillo.
In favor.
Mr. Vidal.
In favor.
Mr. Viersen.
In favor.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 7, yeas 4.
Thank you. And now, shall clause 4 carry? A recorded division, please.
Just for the benefit of the members, it's clause 4 as amended because NDP 2 was adopted.
Correct. Paul, as amendment.
Recorded vote on clause 4. Mr. Hernandez-Sangri.
In favor.
Mr. Baptiste.
In favor.
Mr. Pawlowski.
For.
Mr. Vancouverden.
For.
Mrs. Ann.
In favor.
Mr. Schmale.
Against.
Mr. Malilo.
Against.
Mr. Vidal.
Against.
Mr. Viersen.
Against.
Madame Gill.
For.
Ms. Kazan.
For.
Mr. Chair, yeas 7, nays 4.
Thank you. So clause 4 carries, and we move now to clause 5. And I have before me an amendment 1124796. Ms. Atwin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just noticed Mr. Malello has his hand up.
I'm sorry about that. Too many grids to look at here. Eric, please go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I just had a quick sort of question or comment. I'm not sure if other members would agree, but I think once we get through all the amendments of a clause, I do believe that there should be consensus to move through the clauses on division without a recorded vote. I might be able to help get through this a bit quicker.
Well, right now, my understanding is that it is the wish of the committee to record everything. And so that's what we're going to do. On clause 5, Ms. Atwin, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, if I may, before Madame Atwin begins, if Mr. Schmale has amendment, maybe he should indicate it, amendment to clause 5. Maybe he should let us know right now, and we would inform him the time to move the amendment. I don't know if the committee agrees to proceed this way.
Well, I think that's a fair approach in view of what we've discussed. So, Mr. Schmale.
Perfect. Thank you, Chair. I do have 2 amendments. In 5.1, I'd like to add the word reasonable after take all. So it would read, the Government of Canada must, in consultation and cooperation with Indigenous peoples, take all, and then adding reasonable measures necessary to ensure that the federal laws of Canada, nothing else changed except adding the word reasonable. And it's just as a way to ensure the division of powers is clear.
And that does it for clause 5?
I have one more. Did you just want a separate vote on each? I'll put them all on the table and we can vote.
the clerk wants an advance notice, so when the time comes, Ms. Atwin will have her amendment first, and then we'll get to yours. But the clerk needs
I do have 2. Yep. Okay.
Next one.
Where is the other one?
It's It's to add a section here, number 2. Adding the words, any such measures that propose to amend a federal law of Canada shall be identified in the action plan, and nothing in this act, comma, by itself, comma, shall be constructed as amending the federal laws of Canada. And that's a comment by Cap.
So, Mr. Clerk, have you captured those matters? And of course, you'll, I assume, get an email with the text, and so then we can proceed with Ms. Atwin.
I'm just opening the email right now to find it. Where exactly? I'm at. Hold a second. 。 Okay. As I understand, Mr. Chair, we will start with the amendment, which I call CPC4, adding the word reasonable at line 6. And after that, we'll go to PV1 and we'll go to CPC4, as I understand, goes after line 10. I will just repeat for the comprehension of the committee. We'll start with the first amendment from Mr. Schmale, adding the word reasonable. We'll go after with PV1, and we'll finish clause 5 with the second amendment from Mr. Schmale. We can go now on the word reasonable, which is added up after all.
Okay, so once again, the recorded division on the motion amendment adding the word reasonable. Mr. Clerk.
Recorded division on CPC 4, Mr. Nandasangari.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pawlowski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Ms. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Malilo.
For.
Mr. Vidal.
In favor.
Mr. Viersen.
For.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 7, yeas 4.
The amendment is defeated. Ms. Atwin, can you present your amendment?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this is for clause 5, and for the online version under consistency, page 5, line 7 to 10. The Government of Canada must, in consultation and cooperation with Indigenous peoples, take all measures necessary to ensure that the laws of Canada are consistent with the Declaration, and here adding, and must, in cooperation with Indigenous governing bodies, implement the Declaration in a manner that respects the laws, traditions, and practices of each governing body. And 2, the Government of Canada must, in consultation and cooperation with Indigenous peoples, take all measures necessary to ensure that the laws of Canada are drafted in a way that reflects non-binary gender identity and two-spiritedness. So in a quick explanation, in the interest of time for the committee, the objective of this amendment as put forward by the Assembly of First Nations is to ensure that the federal ministers will work in collaboration with Indigenous governing bodies on implementing UNDRIP in a manner that respects each Indigenous government's laws, traditions, and processes as unique and diverse entities. The second objective is to ensure that this legislation and all future legislation that will be drafted will reflect both in English and French text the various gender identities of Indigenous peoples by being gender inclusive. This can be achieved by not deferring to the masculine form by default in the French version of the text. For context, two spirits refer to a person who identifies as having both masculine and feminine spirit and is used by some Indigenous people to describe their sexual, gender, and/or spiritual identity. Thus, again, it is necessary that the language used in this bill includes space for the recognition of this. This amendment is also in line with Recommendation 25, issued from a July 2020 report investigating systemic racism at the Canadian Museum for Human Rights. The report recommended that gender pronouns be pluralized and be non-binary in all internal and external documents. Finally, this amendment is consistent with the vision of this government to promote human rights, including respect for diversity and inclusion and protecting 2S LGBTQ+ rights and addressing discrimination. This proposed amendment is a concrete step towards this objective, as well as decolonizing Canada. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Atwin. Madame Gill, est-ce que vous...
Je m'excuse. Merci, Monsieur le Président. Je voulais tout simplement...
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to propose a sub-amendment. Can I do it now? It's very simple. I would remove the second part from the Government of Canada must until two-spiritedness. Very simply because I consider that this is superfluous. I don't want a debate on this, but I would propose this sub-amendment to Mrs. Atwin's amendment.
Mrs. Atwin?
Oui, je suis en support d'une.
Yes, I approve this sub-amendment, and I don't know.
Well,
Mr. Chair, if I may, just for the process, the committee will vote on this sub-amendment first, and after that, they will vote on the amendment as amended if the sub is adopted or not. The first thing is to vote on the sub-amendment.
Yes, as a courtesy, I was wondering where Ms. Atwin fell with regard. So on the sub-amendment, and once again, a recorded division.
So recorded division on the sub-amendment to the amendment. Mr. Nandasangari.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pulaski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Ms. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Malilo.
In favor.
Mr. Vidal.
In favor.
Mr. Viersen.
In favor.
Madame Gill.
Pour.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 6, yeas 5.
Sub-amendment is defeated. On to the amendment as presented. Mr. Clerk.
Just one moment, please, Mr. Chair. Technical issues.
Mm-hmm.
On the amendment, recorded division, Mr. Nandasangari.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pulowski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Ms. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
Against.
Mr. Malilo.
Against.
Mr. Vidal.
Against.
Mr. Viersen.
Against.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, against nays 11.
That means the amendment is lost. And we have one more from Mr. Schmale.
We do. Okay, I'd like to add a section here. Any such measures that propose to amend a federal law of Canada shall be identified in the action plan, and nothing in this act, comma, by itself, comma, shall be construed as amending the federal laws of Canada.
Thank you. And on that second amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Recorded division on CPC 5. Mr. Nandasangri.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pulowski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Ms. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Malilo.
For.
Mr. Vidal.
In favor.
Mr. Viersen.
In favor.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 7, yeas 4.
Thank you. I wish I could apply the vote, but I think I'll have to ask once again on Clause 5. Shall Clause 5 carry on recorded division?
Recorded division for Clause 5. Mr. Nandasangri.
In favor.
Mr. Batiste.
In favor.
Mr. Pileski.
For.
Mr. Vancouverden. Mr. Vancouverden.
In favor.
Ms. Zan.
In favor.
Mr. Schmale.
Against.
Mr. Malilo.
Against.
Mr. Vidal.
Against.
Mr. Viersen.
Against.
Madame Gill.
For.
Ms. Kazan.
For.
Mr. Chair, yeas 7, nays 4.
Clause 5 is carried. Clause 6, I have an amendment proposed by Mr. Nandasangri, 112-52702.
Mr. Chair, before, I think Mr. Schmale has an amendment before, which would be on line 15. Am I correct, Mr. Schmale?
That's correct, sir.
Okay. It would be, it's going to be CPC 6.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for pointing that out. Anything further, Mr. Schmale?
Do you need me to read it, or did the clerk already do that?
The clerk has it. We'll get to it.
Okay, it's just to change the word include to identify.
Okay, so we move on then once again to Mr. Nandasangri. Will you present the Liberal amendment?
Yes, Mr. Chair. It's
Mr. Chair, I think we didn't vote on CPC 6 on Mr. Schmale amendment first. We have to vote. Didn't vote? No. Yeah, we still have to vote on Mr. Schmale's amendment first, changing the word include by identify.
Apologize for that.
No.
So we have that before us, and once again, is the committee clear on the amendment? We'll take the vote, recorded vote on the amendment.
Recorded vote on CPC 6. Mr. Nandasangri.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pileski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Ms. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Malilo.
In favor.
Mr. Vidal.
In favor.
Mr. Viersen.
In favor.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Kazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 5, yeas 4.
The amendment is lost. Mr. Nandasangri.
Mr. Chair, this is just a very simple amendment just to ensure that the wording correctly identifies racism and discrimination, as well as racism and discriminations against Indigenous people. So this is just an amendment on lines 18 and 19 on page 5.
Okay, and my advice on this, if Lib 1, if the amendment is adopted, NDP 3 could not be moved as they are identical. If the vote is negative, so NDP 3 is lost for the same reason. Also, if Lib 1 is adopted, PV2 and PV3 become moot as they contain the same provisions as Liberal 1. And so with that subtlety, Mr. Clerk, record a division on Liberal amendment.
Yes, Mr. Chair. On Lib 1, Mr. Nandasangri.
In favor.
Mr. Batiste,
In favor.
Mr. Poleski,
For.
Mr. Vancouverden,
In favor.
Mrs. Zan,
In favor.
Mr. Schmale,
In favor.
Mr. Malilo,
In favor.
Mr. Vidal,
In favor.
Mr. Viersen,
In favor.
Madame Gill,
En faveur.
Ms. Kazan,
In favor.
Mr. Chair, yeas 11, nays 0.
I think we can take that as a pass. So the amendment is accepted. And so that means, in view of what I said earlier, that we can now move to beyond the NDP and PV amendments. PV2, PV2, 3, sorry.
I believe we are on to PV4, Mr. Chair.
Yeah,
PV4, thank you. Yeah, okay. Ms. Atwin, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, à lutter contre les injustices, à combattre les...
So, to fight injustices, bias, and to eliminate discrimination and violence, especially systemic discrimination, we would like to add in French, ainsi que les personnes âgées, les jeunes, les enfants autochtones. This amendment is not in English, so it adds the elderly, youth, Aboriginal youth, women, men of diverse identities of gender, and bi-spirited Aboriginals and Aboriginal handicapped.
Thank you. And no discussion to the recorded division. I'm sorry, Ms. Gill, do you have your hand up?
Oui, en fait, j'avais une question pour Madame Atwood.
Yes, I had a question for Ms. Atwin. Because if you add this after the comma, as well as the whole list that follows, I was wondering how this was not part of Aboriginal peoples. Were they excluded without that enumeration, and why it was needed? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Atwin.
So the objective of this amendment is to ensure that the legislation reflects both in English and French text the various gender identities of Indigenous people by being gender inclusive. This can be achieved by not, again, referring to the masculine form by default in the French version of the text. So it's simply to just add further context around gender inclusivity. And it's in line, again, with that recommendation that I mentioned from the Canadian Museum for Human Rights in their review of systemic racism. And it's consistent with the vision of this government to promote human rights, once again. So it's more of a technical nature.
Thanks, Ms. Atwin. And so, seeing no further comment, okay, Ms. Gill, Mr. Clerk, recorded division.
This is a recorded division on PV4. Mr. Nandasangari.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Poleski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Ms. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
Against.
Mr. Malilo.
Against.
Mr. Vidal.
Against.
Mr. Viersen.
Against.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Kazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 11, yeas 0.
Thank you. So the amendment is defeated. And are we finished, Mr. Schmale?
No, I think it's the Mr. Schmale's turn now. He wants to move something on clause 6, paragraph 2A, 2 little I. I'm gonna let him talk about this amendment.
Yep, Jamie.
Perfect. Thank you. I have some amendments I'd like to add here. One, so as the clerk was saying, striking out the word "and" going into number 3. So I'd like to add measures relating to improvement of Indigenous peoples' economic and social conditions through sustainable development. And that addition of the paragraph, it continues the amendment proposed in the preamble to introduce economic reconciliation.
The complete amendment?
That's for that one. Yeah, there's a few others, but I'll try to make this as quick as possible. So did you want to vote on this and I'll get to the next one?
Yep.
Okay.
Mr. Clerk.
Recorded vote on CPC 7. Mr. Nendesangari.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pawlowski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Ms. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Malilo.
In favor.
Mr. Vidal.
In favor.
Mr. Viersen.
In favor.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 7, yeas 4.
The amendment is defeated. Mr. Schmale.
Okay, so adding subsection number 4, adding resources required to implement the action plan, semicolon. And that addition is intended to introduce a requirement on the government to identify resources to create additional accountability for effective implementation.
That's it. And Nendesangari, you wish to speak?
Just a clarification, Mr. Chair, that would be subsection 3 because the original, the 3 as amended was defeated.
Sorry, thank you, Gary. Yeah, that's correct.
Can I clarify? Do you, Mr. Schmale, do you move all 5, 6, 7, 8, A and B, 9?
No.
A and B?
We're
No.
going to cut this down for time because I'm getting the theme of the meeting here. So I'm going to cut this down. I'm just going to go, we've already done 3, 4. I'm going to introduce 5, 6, and 7.
5, 6, and 7. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll cut this down because there seems to be a common theme
at once?
here. So,
are you moving them at once or one after the other?
I'll move one after the other because I think that's how the committee agreed to do it.
Okay.
I'm prepared in the interest of time, Mr. Schmale, to take them as a group if that works.
How do you intend to vote that if someone wants a particular motion, how do they vote?
Okay.
How would that work?
We'll skip that and we'll go individually.
I'm hoping the theme of the meeting breaks here and we're able to. So I guess that would be number 3 then. Resources required to implement an action plan.
Okay, and on the amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Yes, Mr. Chair, just one moment while I confer with my legislative colleagues. Recorded vote on CPC 8. Mr. Nendesangari.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pawlowski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Ms. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Malilo.
In favor.
Mr. Vidal.
In favor.
Mr. Viersen.
In favor.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 7, yeas 4.
That's defeated. Mr. Schmale.
Okay, this would, I guess would be the new number 3 potentially. Adding, foster a common understanding of the declaration, comma, including provisions related to the principle of free, comma, prior and informed consent, in brackets FPIC, comma, the federal government in collaboration with Indigenous peoples, comma, must involve provinces, comma, territories, comma, industry, comma, and the public in the development of the action plan. That's it for that one.
Thanks. Mr. Schmill, I'm just lost for a moment. Exactly where does this come into the document?
This is number 3. It would have been 5 or 6, but we've voted those down. So this is the new number 3.
If I may, Mr. Chair, it goes under clause 6, paragraph 2A, and Mr. Schmill would add a subparagraph 5, and the text he just read.
Thanks very much for that. Mr. Clerk.
Recorded division for CPC 9. Mr. Nandasangari.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pawlowski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Ms. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Malilo.
In favor.
Mr. Vidal.
For.
Mr. Viersen.
In favor.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 7, yeas 4.
Amendment is defeated. Mr. Schmale, is that one more?
Okay. Yep. Two more after this. We'll make it quick. These are really quick. The new number 3, I guess. Ensure that final decision-making authority on major projects rests with the Crown in order to maintain clear legal jurisdictions and accountability. That's the end of that one.
Mr. Clerk.
Recorded division on CPC 10. Mr. Nandasangari.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pawlowski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Mrs. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Malilo.
In favor.
Mr. Vidal.
For.
Mr. Viersen.
For.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 7, yeas 4.
Amendment defeated. And one final one, Jamie?
One final one, Chair. The new number 3, I hope. Ensure that all national Indigenous organizations will be included on an equal basis with no preferential treatments given by governments to any organization over any other in the development of the action plan and annual reports.
To the clerk for a recorded division.
Recorded division on CPC 11. Mr. Nandasangari.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pawlowski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Mrs. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Malilo.
In favor.
Mr. Vidal.
For.
Mr. Viersen.
Yes.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 7, yeas 4.
The amendment is defeated. And now we go to clause 6 on a recorded division. I believe that those are all the amendments. Did I miss anything?
Mr. Chair, there is one more.
I'm sorry, is this lib 2?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I do have one more.
My apologies. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I'll make it very brief. This is something we've heard extensively throughout the discussions over the past several weeks. This is just to amend the 3-year timeline to 2 on the development of the action plan.
Anything further, Gary? On the Liberal Amendment 2, Mr. Clerk.
Recorded division on Lib 2, Mr. Nandasangari.
In favor.
Mr. Batiste.
In favor.
Mr. Pawlowski.
For.
Mr. Vancouverden.
In favor.
Mrs. Zan.
In favor.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Malilo.
In favor.
Mr. Vidal.
For.
Mr. Viersen.
Yes.
Madame Gill.
En faveur.
Ms. Gazan.
In favor.
Mr. Chair, yeas 11, nays 0.
Thank you. So that carries. And that brings us to clause 7. Jamie, did you have something to add there?
Sorry, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, we have to vote on clause 6 as amended because Lib 1 and Lib 2 has been adopted. And the last vote was on Lib 2. Now we have to vote on clause 6 as amended.
My head's spinning here today. Sorry about that.
But before that, Mr. Chair, I just want to make sure with Mr. Schmale that he doesn't have any other amendments on clause 6.
No, thank you for checking on that, Clerk. In the spirit of time, I'll pull back.
Perfect. Now we can go back on vote on clause 6 as amended.
As amended. As amended, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. Clause 6, Mr. Clerk, can we take a recorded division on clause 6 as amended?
Certainly. Vote on clause 6. Mr. Hernandez-Sangari.
In favor.
Mr. Batiste.
In favor.
Mr. Pileski.
For.
Mr. Vancouverden.
For.
Ms. Zan.
In favor.
Mr. Schmale.
Against.
Mr. Malilo.
Against.
Mr. Vidal.
Against.
Mr. Viersen.
Against.
Madame Gill.
En faveur.
Ms. Gazan.
In favor.
Mr. Chair, yeas 7, nays 4.
And so the motion carries on clause 6. And now we move to clause 7. And once again, Mr. Schmale, did you want to insert anything here?
None in clause 7.
So committee, I believe we're able to take a recorded division on clause 7.
Recorded division on clause 7. Mr. Hernandez-Sangari.
Favor.
Mr. Batiste.
In favor.
Mr. Pileski.
For.
Mr. Vancouverden.
For.
Ms. Zan.
In favor.
Mr. Schmale.
Against.
Mr. Malilo.
Against.
Mr. Vidal.
Against.
Mr. Viersen.
Against.
Madame Gill.
En faveur.
Ms. Gazan.
In favor.
Mr. Chair, yeas 7, nays 4.
And that carries. And I have now, Mr. Clerk, I need to be clear as we move forward through the agenda. Are we at the schedule now?
Yeah, yes, we are.
All right. And so any comment on the schedule? If not, I'll ask for a recorded division on the schedule.
Recorded vote on the schedule. Mr. Hernandez-Sangari.
Favor.
Mr. Batiste.
In favor.
Mr. Pileski.
For.
Mr. Vancouverden.
For.
Ms. Zan.
For.
Mr. Schmale.
Against.
Mr. Malilo.
Against.
Mr. Vidal.
Against.
Mr. Viersen.
Against.
Madame Gill.
En faveur.
Ms. Gazan.
In favor.
Mr. Chair, yeas 7, nays 4.
And so that carries. Now, Mr. Clerk, just to make sure I've got my pages in order, I believe we are at the preamble.
Yes, we are at the preamble, Mr. Chair, and if I may, I would ask Mr. Schmale if he has amendments at the preamble and where, which line.
Okay, perfect. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 amendments, Chair or Clerk. Do you want me to do them now?
Mr. Clerk, I think he would like you to clarify for him, so go ahead.
Yeah, sure. The first one is page 2, line 3.
Okay.
Okay. The second one is line 37.
37. On page 2, 37?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
The next one is page 3, line 3.
Okay.
The next one is line 9 on page 3.
Okay.
The other one is line 16.
16.
And the last, okay. Yep. And the last one is 36, line 36.
36. Okay. Okay. Hold a second, Mr. Chair. Give me 30 seconds just to make sure that I... Okay, Mr. Chair, we wanted to make sure that everything is okay. We're going to start with CPC on line 4, page 2.
Mr. Chair, before you proceed, I do have a procedural question. And this is to the legislative clerk. This is just to confirm that you received an amendment from me. This is with respect to adding on, and I believe on preamble 19 from earlier this morning.
Yeah, I got this amendment, line 19 on page 3.
That's correct. And then could you maybe advise at what point that would be discussed, or would that be at the end?
This one will be discussed just the second last amendment on the preamble.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Second last amendment on the preamble. So alert me when the time comes. Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, as I believe, Mr. Clerk, that you suggested that CPC 2 is first matter of business on the preamble amendments?
Yeah, on the preamble, it's CPC 12.
Sorry, 12, yeah. My ink ran out. I only got a 2 in there. Sorry about that. So, Jamie, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'd like to add on line, I guess line 4 it would be now, whereas the declaration further emphasizes that Indigenous peoples have the right, without discrimination, to the improvement of their economic and social conditions, and the right to determine and develop priorities and strategies for exercising their right to development, semicolon.
All right. Duly noted. Yes.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair. Do we have the text of...
You should. It should be in that email.
Hold a second.
On the first page, I believe.
Okay. Interpretation.
Mr. Schmel, if I may, the other ledge clerk. Your amendment
yes,
on line 4, is that to replace the whole paragraph, or I'm not exactly sure?
It was a new paragraph.
But it's okay. So it's to add a new paragraph after
correct.
Resources. Is that it?
Yes, that's correct.
So it's on line 6.
Yes, sir.
After line 6.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Well, okay. On the amendment, we're ready for the vote, Mr. Clerk. Part of division.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Recorded division on CPC 12. Mr. Nandasangari.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Poloski.
Against.
Mr. Van Couverden.
Against.
Ms. Zan,
Against.
Mr. Schmale,
In favor?
Mr. Melillo,
In favor.
Mr. Vidal,
In favor.
Mr. Viersen,
In favor.
Madame Gill,
Contre.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 7, yeas 4.
The amendment is defeated. I believe now, with advice from the clerks, we have the Liberal 3, 112.
As I understand, I think Mr. Schmale has another paragraph that he would like to insert after line 6 on page 2. Am I correct, Mr. Schmale?
You are correct, sir.
Okay. It's
Jamie.
CPC 13.
Okay, Jamie.
Thank you, Chair. Lucky 13. Whereas the Government of Canada acknowledges that providing clarity with respect to Indigenous rights and the Crown's duty to consult and, if appropriate, accommodate is fundamental to enhancing regulatory certainty and improving Canada's competitiveness.
Clerk has that. The text.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So we'll take the recorded division.
Recorded vote on CPC 13, Mr. Nendesangari.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pulaski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Ms. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor?
Mr. Melillo.
In favor.
Mr. Vidal.
In favor.
Mr. Viersen.
Yes.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Gazan.
Gladly against.
Mr. Chair, yeas 4, nays 7.
All right, that amendment is defeated. Are we ready for the Liberal yet, Mr. Clerk? What's next on our business?
Give me just 15 seconds, because Mr. Schmale has another amendment, I think, at the end of, and I'm trying to find the paragraph, and I don't know if it goes before lib 3. Hold a second. The government recognizes.
I believe it's line 37.
On page
it
2?
was in addition.
Okay.
On page 2, correct. In addition to line 37.
Okay, perfect. Now we're going to lib 3.
Thank you very much. Gary, could you present?
This is again just to be consistent, just ensuring we add the words combat prejudice and eliminate all forms of violence, racism, and including systemic racism and discrimination. Mr. Chair, there may also be implications on other amendments, so maybe you can advise on that before we go to a vote.
Yes, of course. If this is adopted, NDP 4 cannot be moved as they're identical. If Lib 3 is negative, so is NDP 4 for the same reason. Also, if Lib 3 is adopted, then PB 5 and 6 become moot, as they contain the same provisions as Lib 3. So with that in mind, we go to the recorded division.
Recorded division for Lib 3, Mr. Nendesangari.
In favor?
Mr. Batiste.
In favor.
Mr. Pulaski.
For.
Mr. Vancouverden.
For.
Ms. Zan.
In favor.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Melillo.
In favor.
Mr. Vidal.
In favor.
Mr. Viersen. Has left the room temporarily. We'll go to Madame Gill.
En faveur.
Ms. Gazan.
In favor.
Mr. Chair, yeas 10, nays 0.
Thank you. And Lib 3 carries as amended, which brings us to PV5, Ms. Atwin.
One moment, Mr. Chair. No, we're not going to PV5 because since Lib 3 was adopted, PV5.
You're right.
Yeah, and PV6, we're going to PV. Hold a second.
6,
PV7.
Sorry, 7.
And I think you have a note on this one, Mr. Chair.
Yes, I do. Ms. Atwin?
Yes, so just a note to withdraw, as it's the same context as others that have been previously discussed.
Okay. So PV7 is not brought forward. Okay. Thank you. So,
Mr. Chair, if I may, PV7 is deemed to have been moved, so it would just require unanimous consent to withdraw, is my understanding.
Do we have unanimous consent to withdraw? We do. Seeing no opposition. And thanks, Ms. Atwin. Liberal 4, 112533219. I'm sorry, Jaime.
Yes, Mr. Chair, this amendment would add reference to the doctrine of discovery and terra nullius in the preamble clause, referring to all doctrines, policies, and practice based on or advocating the racial superiority peoples. To clarify that such doctrines are amongst these references. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Mr. Batiste. Now, in consultation, and thank you for having that amendment to us in a timely manner, the amendment seeks to make a substantive modification by adding new elements to the preamble. The amendment, House of Commons Procedure and Practice, my famous big green book, page 774. In the case of a bill that has been referred to committee after second reading, a substantive amendment to the preamble is admissible only if it is rendered necessary by amendments made to the bill. In addition, an amendment to the preamble is in order when its purpose is to clarify it or to ensure uniformity of the English and French versions. So it's my opinion that the proposed amendment is substantive and that no amendment was made to the bill to that effect, the bill itself, and therefore it renders the amendment inadmissible. I have Mr. Ananda-Sangari with his hand, and then Mr. Batiste.
So sure, I respectfully have to disagree with your position on this. We've made 3 amendments that add the term racism and systemic racism throughout the text, both in the preamble as well as within the body of the text. And I think the amendment that's put forward by Mr. Batiste really does speak to the issues of racism, and therefore I would submit that this is a result of amendments that have been made and approved by this committee.
Mr. Batiste.
I agree with what Gary just said.
Further discussion. The legislative discussion that we had, and I'm hearing an echo in my headset, so it's hard to talk, outlined the matter in the manner that I prescribed. However, I am willing to put this to a vote. Mr. Ananda-Sangari, are you wishing to add to this?
Just to underscore the point, Mr. Chair, the issues of racism and systemic racism has been brought forward throughout the discussion over the last several weeks. As a result, the government took the position that it's important to add and clarify and strengthen the bill in that respect. The issues that are in the amendment brought forward by Mr. Batiste really speaks to the racism that's that's existed, and the notion of terra nullius as a racist doctrine, and that's precisely the reason why I believe this is appropriate to move forward, and it's an amendment that should be allowed to go to a vote, and I think we're prepared to vote on it.
I'll accept that and put the matter to the clerk for a recorded division.
Mr. Chair, just to clarify, is your decision challenged, or are we voting on the amendment? I just want to make sure that the committee knows exactly what is voting on. You have two options here. Mr. Anandasangari can propose a motion to challenge the decision of the chair, or you, as you can, because you made a decision that you declared that it is inadmissible. This is the option that the committee has. I don't know if Mr. Anandasangari wants to propose that.
I'm prepared to take a motion on a challenge. Of course, I have to.
And the consequence to it, if your decision is overturned, the amendment becomes admissible and debate on the motion and vote on the motion.
Well, Mr. Legislative Clerk, with respect, I would submit that the position that I've taken is in line with the amendments that have been already passed, and therefore the underlying premise that the chair had indicated with respect to the admissibility of this particular amendment is, in my submission, incorrect, and I'm therefore asking the chair to reconsider the position and not necessarily go to a vote. So perhaps you and the chair could discuss that and look at the appropriateness of moving forward with the vote and the chair reconsidering the decision.
Now, Ms. Gill had your hand up. Did Madam Gill did further? No. Okay. So to the legislative group, I'm perfectly willing to proceed as Mr. Anandasangari suggested, or does policy render a challenge in this case?
No. Withdraw your decision. That's fine. And we will go a debate on the amendment and a vote on the amendment.
Okay. So we will skip past the remarks that I made in the context of what was said and go to the amendment on Liberal 4. So, Mr. Clerk.
This is a recorded vote for Lib 4. Mr. Anandasangari.
In favor.
Mr. Batiste.
In favor.
Mr. Pileski.
For.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pileski, could you repeat, please?
For.
Mr. Vancouverden.
For.
Ms. Zan.
In favor.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Malilo.
Yes.
Mr. Vidal.
In favor.
Mr. Viersen.
Opposed.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Gazan.
In favor.
Mr. Chair, yeas 9, nays 2.
Thank you. The amendment is carried. And I need some clarification on BQ3, clerks.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, since neither block BQ1 and BQ2 were not adopted, it means that BQ3, there is a problem with it. The rule is if you want to change something in the preamble, you have to change something in the text. Decision is in your hand, Mr. Chair.
My impression was, as I said earlier, exactly as you said, in the case of the bill, a substantive amendment to the preamble admissible only if rendered necessary by amendments. And so reading through it, as we did in our preparation, I came to the opinion that the proposed amendment is substantive and no amendment was made to the bill to that effect. Therefore, rendering this amendment as inadmissible. So I'm going to stay with that opinion that it is an admissible. However, Ms. Gill, I know you wish to speak to it.
Bien, en fait, Monsieur le Président.
Well, Mr. Chair, I'm trying to understand because we've just proceeded differently for the previous amendment that you have withdrawn. But for this case, you maintain a decision to the same effect. Is it to avoid being challenged again? I don't know. Why is it different for Lib 4 than for BQ3? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, what would be the substantial an amendment to the bill itself, which relates to the preamble? That's the issue before us.
En fait, ma question est inverse, Monsieur.
My question is the opposite, Mr. Chair. I was asking what was in Lib 4 that was relevant to something substantial added to the bill. I felt it was the same situation, and I wanted to say that the decision was different because there were no substantial changes for Lib 4 either. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. In my opinion, based on the discussion, the notion of racism that was introduced was relevant to the wording in the preamble. Would that be, in your opinion, Mr. Clerk? I see you have your hand up.
Well, I can't give my opinion on that. A ruling of the chair is not debatable, and so it can either be challenged by motion or we would move to the next item on the agenda.
Mr. Batiste.
I think just to clarify the doctrines that we were discussing, it says that terra nullius says that anyone who was not of Christian descent was not a person. When we introduced racism, we introduced the ability to question some of the international doctrines, such as the doctrine of discovery, that makes it so that Indigenous people aren't people in the realm of the law. This is absolutely racism, and this is absolutely discrimination. And so when we introduced the new substantive clauses on racism, we allowed the ability to refer to these racist doctrines. And so that's where the discussion was, and that's why we were able to change the previous one and introduce Liberal 4, whereas we're not able to do so with the...
Est-ce que c'est du débat, Monsieur le Président?
Is this debate, Mr. Chair? Or is this out of order? I was asking, I believe the clerk was saying that we can't debate your decision. And it sounds like a debate.
For clarification from your perspective so that I can review the ruling that I made based on the discussions and work that was done previously. Has there been substantial change earlier which relates to what you are wishing to amend? Something else that we changed within the body of the bill that therefore, which did occur in the case of the previous decision?
À mon humble avis, Monsieur.
In my opinion, it is not the case for Lib 4. And this is why I was asking this. When you withdrew your decision, I could understand then. So, no, I will respect your decision, of course, because we don't have to adopt them, your decisions. But I believe that the decision was the same in both cases. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I appreciate very much the discussion because we're trying to make sure that the bill is properly brought forward in terms of all of the protocols and precedents and practices of the parliamentary procedure. And so I was convinced that there had been substantive change within the bill that led to the preamble, but in this BQ3, I didn't see it. So my view is that the amendment is inadmissible, and so I'll stand as at that. And thanks, Madam Gill, for the discussion. Now, that brings us to the preamble.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
if I may, I think we have to go to Mr. Schmale amendment on line 36, 37.
Oh, that one. Sorry.
Yeah, we have still a couple of other, Mr. 3, 4, I think.
Okay. Sorry about that. I've got things jotted down all over and I can't find my notes. So, Mr. Schmale, I have Mr. Hernandez Sangre has his hand up.
Just to make sure that I'm still on the roster there, Mr. Chair.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, Mr. Schmale.
Thank you, Chair. Before we get to this motion, I do want to point out that we have gone over time by, looks like 14 minutes now. I think we have to decide what we're doing first.
We're okay as far as there's no need for a motion to extend on the discussion that we're having currently. There could be an issue later which would cause the members of the committee to depart. But if my understanding is with our procedures that in the case of today that we're good to go to extend the meeting, and because we're almost where we need to be. I have the clerk and I have Ms. Gazan. Perhaps they wish to speak to this.
Yes, just to add that I've confirmed services are available to support this meeting until 2 p.m.
Okay, so we can continue till 2. Ms. Gazan?
I just want to support that. I think particularly it would be good of our conservative colleagues to accommodate that, considering their lack of preparedness for this meeting and how we've accommodated that. So, you certainly have my support for that.
Well, so Jamie, can we carry on, and can you bring your amendments forward now?
I think Ms. Gill has her hand up, Chair.
I'm sorry. Where are you? Oh, there. The screen changes. People go.
Just like Mrs. Gazan, I wanted to say that many MPs and parties were not ready for the meeting today. Very nicely, I would ask you in the future to be ready. I don't want to blame anyone, though.
Mr. Schmale.
Thank you. I would argue that we were ready with these amendments. We just had a different process on doing it, and we'd still have to go line by each of these anyway. And had we gone line by line at the beginning, we'd be done this by now. But anyways, okay, line 37 on page 2. We would like to add at the end of it, after self-government, add a comma, by virtue of which Indigenous peoples freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. And this amendment echoes the first amendment on economic reconciliation that had moved earlier, using language from the UN Declaration itself.
And that's one of how many do we have coming forward now, Jamie?
After this, it looks like 3 more. I think we go. Oh, there's one minor one. It's just a wording change, but 3 of substance and then the wording. So 4, I guess.
And is the text available for the clerks?
Yep, they should have it already.
Okay, so we heard number 1 after line 37. And Mr. Clerk, please go ahead with the recorded division.
It's a recorded division for CPC 14. Mr. Hernandez Sangre.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pulowski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Miss Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Melillo.
Yep.
Mr. Vidal.
In favor.
Mr. Viersen.
Yes.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 7, yeas 4.
Thank you. So that amendment is defeated. Jamie, next.
Okay, perfect. On page 3, we're looking at line 3. So after, whereas the Government of Canada acknowledges, so this will come after it, and respects that provincial, territorial, and municipal governments each have jurisdiction and the ability to establish their own approaches to the declaration by taking various measures at their discretion that fall within their authority, and the Government of Canada will respect these various approaches to the declaration in formulating its own action plan.
Thank you. Clerk's good with the text. Let's go to recorded division. Mr. Clerk.
Recorded division on CPC 15, Mr. Ananda-Sangari.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pulaski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Ms. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Melillo.
In favor.
Mr. Vidal.
In favor.
Mr. Viersen.
In favor.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 7, yeas 4.
The amendment is defeated. Jamie?
Line 9. So this will be a little striking and adding. So the wording would be, whereas the Government of Canada welcomes opportunities to work cooperatively with, so it'd be taking out those, so it would just read, with provincial, territorial, and municipal governments, comma, Indigenous peoples, and other sectors of society towards achieving the objectives of the declaration. And the amendment is intended to clarify the status of the declaration in Canadian domestic law that aligns with the government's stated intention that UNDRIP is to be used as an interpretive tool in Canada.
Thank you. Nothing further. We go to a recorded division.
This is a recorded division for CPC 16, Mr. Ananda-Sangari.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pulaski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Mrs. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Melillo.
In favor.
Mr. Vidal.
In favor.
Mr. Viersen.
Favor.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 7, yeas 4.
Amendment is defeated. Jamie, where are we now?
Okay, line 16 now, Chair. I would like to remove, whereas the declaration is affirmed as a source of the, as a source for the interpretation of Canadian law, and replace it with, whereas the declaration is an international human rights instrument that is available as a resource to assist with the interpretation of the domestic federal laws of Canada.
That's in line 16?
Correct, sir.
Okay.
It's line 14.
Sorry, miscount.
Yeah, no problem.
I have astigmatism, so I wasn't sure that I was reading the right line or not. Okay. On the amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Recorded vote on CPC 17, Mr. Ananda-Sangari.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pulaski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Ms. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Melillo.
In favor.
Mr. Vidal.
In favor.
Mr. Viersen.
Favor.
Madame Gill.
Contre.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 7, yeas 4.
And so the amendment is defeated. Is there anything further, Jamie?
There was just one more, Chair. Just
I'm sorry,
wording.
Mr. Schmale. Before we go to your last amendment, we have to go to the new Lib amendment from Mr. Ananda-Sangari on line 19.
Okay. Gary.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Clerk. So I wanted to just add right after, whereas the protection of Aboriginal and treaty rights at the end, add the following. and Canadian courts have stated that such rights are not frozen and are capable of growth and evolution. I believe this reflects the intent of Ms. Gazan's motion earlier with respect to the amendment, and we believe that this is a very important clarification that is required to the preamble in order to clarify the purpose, and therefore we would like to move forward on this amendment.
I'm going to ask the legislative clerk whether it's properly moved in terms of our earlier discussions on preamble.
Mr. Chair, there was the amendment in DP1 which talk about frozen rights. But unfortunately, this amendment was not adopted. We're facing the same problem here that before. There's no significant change in the text of the bill. Means that the preamble makes it complicated. This is my
Mr. Hernandez,
this is my advice to you.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez-Angry.
And I appreciate the position of the clerk, but just to clarify, this this addition clarifies the preamble. It gives better direction on the preamble, and I believe based on Chapter 16, it is permissible under the rules of the House, and therefore I'm going to submit that this is appropriate to move forward on this amendment. Ms. Gazan's amendment was on a different parts of the bill, and we appreciate the work that Ms. Gazan has put in there, and we thank her for that. But I believe the clarity that was being sought is being provided here within the preamble.
Ms. Gill, Madame Gill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Once again, I find it quite particular because I voted in favor of Ms. Gazan's amendment. So once again, it's a question of procedure. It's not written in any sections, and we now put it in the preamble. So would it have been acceptable to talk, for example, of federal law instead of Canadian law? For the reasons mentioned by my colleague INAN Sangari? I ask a question, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chair, sorry.
Yes, we'll carry on with Mr. Batiste. Mr. Vidal, I'm sorry, you had your hand up and the screen moved around on me. Gary, could you go ahead?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hey, and just my sense of this as somebody trying to learn the process and follow through, is it a matter of consistency? I think your ruling that you made would have to apply in the matter of consistency when the content in the bill was defeated. If there's no substantial change, my understanding from what you ruled earlier is that we cannot do this, and I think we need to be consistent with the application of your earlier rulings.
I have Mr. Batiste and Ms. Gazan.
I think that it's consistent with the document. I don't think that it's a substantive change, and I think we could vote on it.
Ms. Gazan.
Sorry, Chair. It's actually very consistent with Article 1 of the bill that recognizes treaty rights. And certainly, if we're talking about the declaration, this specific amendment is actually part of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. I think it's very consistent with Article 1 of the bill, which also refers to international human rights law, which also recognizes treaties.
Well, members of the committee, in trying to get through this today and doing the work that we had done previously, I was advised or directed or informed of how these things work. And so with all due respect to the comments that have been made, Madam Gill, for instance, was not able to point out the change in the bill that referred to the change in the preamble, whereas I believe that Mr. Batiste had. So in following, and I may ask for guidance once again from the legislative clerks in this regard, but I'll have Ms. Gazan speak, and then I'll have a question for the committee. Ms. Gazan.
Just very quickly, going back to Article 1, it fits very consistently with Article 1 of the bill. Thank you, Chair.
Now, the thing that I'm struggling with in terms of what the chair's responsibilities are is, will the absence of this amendment change in a substantive way or upset the intention or otherwise change the direction of the bill as is worded in the preamble? And I'd like to hear a comment from someone, Mr. Anandasangri. I know we're trying to improve and make the best bill possible, but in terms of our procedures as outlined in the parliamentary guide, how do I accommodate that in these today?
Just to be clear, Mr. Chair, my understanding of the parliamentary rules as per Chapter 16 is that amendments clause by clause at this stage of the bill, which clarifies in the preambular, is completely permissible. And that is what we're relying on to bring this forward. And I recognize perhaps the difficulty you're having with this, but it is quite clear in the rules. And I would just invite you to rule on it, and we can proceed, Mr. Chair. No hard feelings on our end. We'll be willing, if you're not ruling in favor, then we will call for a vote, and we can proceed. I do recognize the work that everybody's put in, and I think at this point we're prepared to move forward.
Okay, I'm going to ask for one final comment from the legislative staff with regard to preambles and the bodies of bills.
If I may, Mr. Chair, you have heard the representation kind of on both sides. You have the authority to say admissible or not, and if some member disagree with your decision, they have the possibility to challenge your decision to achieve what they want. You have the authority to make the ruling one way or the other. You have received information on both sides, and you can decide on this.
Okay, and so that clears up for me a little bit of my concern with regard to precedent and so on. Madam Gill, I'll ask you to comment, and then we'll go to a movement.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I would have liked to come back to the question. For the question of substance, I was in agreement. I wanted to mention that to Madame Gazan, but at the same time, for me, it's difficult to see that the same standards are not given to each of us, because that was mentioned twice. Mr. Natangari was talking about Clause 16. We're talking about precedents that are going to modify the bill. So, and I would consider that for my amendment, it was exactly the same thing. And so that is why this is a double standard here, and that's why I wanted to bring it up before we moved ahead to the vote. Thank you. That's it, Mr. Chair.
Madame Gill, and in view of the discussions that we had previously, I'm going to rule that the matter based on the comments that I made is inadmissible. And if someone would like to challenge the chair, then we'll follow through with that procedure. So I will rule on the basis of the previous discussions, my previous ruling of admissibility. Mr. Anandasangri.
So you are suggesting that this is not admissible, Mr. Chair? Is that what I'm?
In view of the discussions and the understanding that I had earlier and the ruling that I had made, I want to be consistent with that, as Madame Gill pointed out. So that would be my ruling.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and with the greatest respect, I would like to challenge that ruling, and I've made submissions on this earlier. I believe this is non-debatable. It goes to a vote.
Yes, Mr. Clerk, please go with recorded
yes,
division.
Chair. The vote is on the motion, shall the ruling of the chair be sustained, meaning shall the ruling of the chair be upheld? Mr. Nandasangri.
No.
Mr. Batiste.
No.
Mr. Pawlowski.
Abstain.
Mr. Vancouverden.
No.
Miss Zan.
No.
Mr. Schmale.
I'll support the chair.
Mr. Melillo.
Yes.
Mr. Vidal.
Yes.
Mr. Viersen.
Yes.
Madame Gill.
Oui, j'appuie la présidence.
Miss Gazan.
No.
Mr. Chair, nays 5, yeas 5.
Sounds like I have to break the tie.
Mr. Chair, if we can suspend for a couple of minutes.
Yes, we'll suspend the meeting. had a split, and I believe that on a 5-5 tie, that anyone wishing to change their vote would require unanimous consent. And I'm not sensing that there would be unanimous consent on that. And I made my decision on principle. And so I will, if the issue is my vote on this matter, I maintain my position that, and before I say the next thing, Gary, I see you have your hand up. No, I won't give you the floor then. So I vote to sustain the position.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And with the indulgence of members, and I know this could be frustrating, I would like to introduce another amendment. This will be our last amendment.
Fine.
With respect to the bill. The amendment will read, this is with respect to the same clause, whereas the protection of Aboriginal and treaty rights recognized and affirmed by Section 35 of the Constitution Act 1982. It is an underlying principle and value of the Constitution of Canada, and Canadian courts have stated that such rights are not frozen and are capable of evolution and growth.
Mr. Chair, if I may, can Mr. Anand Dasangari indicates where exactly in the preamble, and if you have the written version of the amendment, if you could send it to us?
The written version is on its way. It is with respect to clause, I believe it's 19 on the preambular. Line 19.
On page 3.
Right, Gary, the page 3.
Chair, I do have a question for the clerk, if it's possible.
Sure.
Is this wording not relatively the same as the previous motion that was deemed inadmissible?
If I may, Mr. Chair, I have not take note of the amendment. That's why I want to see it before saying anything. I don't know exactly the amendment.
While we wait, I could read it out again, Mr.
Go ahead.
Legislative Clerk. So basically, it will read, and it is very, very similar to the previous amendment. It'll read, whereas the protection of Aboriginal and treaty rights recognized and affirmed by Section 35 of the Constitution Act 1982, it is an underlying principle and value of the Constitution of Canada, and Canadian courts have stated that such rights are not frozen and are capable of, and here's the change, evolution and growth.
Give me a second, please.
Just for everyone's sake, we have a 2 o'clock hard stop because of technology. So.
End question period.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, following Mr. Schmail's questions, I would say the motion can be proposed, and it's up to you to decide if it's the same. We're talking about we have the same words in some places, but it's really your evaluation of the amendment to say that it's the same, and the rule is that the committee cannot decide twice on the same thing. Is it the same thing?
Well, I'm going to say that it's different to a minor extent, but I would still say that it is inadmissible for all of the. We don't need to go through the whole context again. So I'm going to say that I heard it just now, it is not admissible. Mr. Vidal?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hey, I would just throw my old mayor's hat on for a couple of minutes here, and maybe the rules are different, but in the rules as I had to interpret them as a mayor, I was not able to accept the same motion or the motion with exactly the same intent twice, even if there was a flip of a couple of words. I was not allowed to entertain that motion in my role as a mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and again, thank you for your ruling, and I want to respectfully challenge your decision.
Mr. Clerk, would you go to recorded division?
But Chair, maybe can you just quickly, point of order, just explain to me, if we're not allowed to have that motion in the first place, how do we have the ability to challenge the chair's decision to not allow it if it wasn't allowed in the first place?
In my opinion, it's enough of a change that we'll bring it forward, and I really want to move the meeting along as well. Mr. Clerk.
So this is a vote on shall the chair's ruling be sustained? That is to say, shall the chair's ruling be upheld? Mr. Nandasangri?
No.
Mr. Baptiste?
No.
Mr. Pawlowski?
No.
Mr. Vancouverden?
No.
Ms. Zan?
No.
Mr. Schmail?
Yes.
Mr. Melillo?
Yeah.
Mr. Vidal?
Astoundingly, yes.
Mr. Viersen?
Yeah.
Madame Gill?
En faveur.
Ms. Gazan?
No.
Mr. Chair, nays 6, yeas 5.
Thank you. To the amendment, Mr. Nandasangri. The motion is defeated. Go ahead. Challenge to the chair is accepted, which brings the amendment forward, and now the amendment needs to be voted on. Mr. Clerk.
This is a recorded vote for Lib 6. Mr. Nandasangri?
In favor?
Mr. Baptiste?
In favor.
Mr. Pawlowski?
In favor.
Mr. Vancouverden?
In favor.
Ms. Zan?
In favor.
Mr. Schmail?
We're going to say no, or I'm going to say no, sorry.
Mr. Melillo?
Against.
Mr. Vidal?
Opposed.
Mr. Viersen?
I'm opposed to this railroading of the process.
Madame Gill?
Je dirais la même chose que Monsieur Viersen.
Opposed. Ms. Gazan?
Opposed.
Favor.
Mr. Chair, yeas 6, nays 5.
Thank you. The amendment is carried. Now on the preamble itself as amended.
Excuse me again, Mr.
Sorry,
Chair.
one more.
Mr. Schmail has one other amendment on the preamble, line 35 or 36, I think.
Yeah, I think it was 36, but I could be wrong. I can take 35 too.
Head with your amendment.
Okay, it was just saying, staying consistent with earlier text. After it reads, rights and legal traditions of First Nations, Inuit, and the Métis and of their institutions. I think it should actually read traditions of First Nations, Inuit, and the Métis Nation. I think inserting the word nation there is consistent with the text earlier on.
Thank you. Let's go to recorded division on that. Mr. Clerk.
This is a recorded division on CPC 18. Mr. Nandasangari.
Against.
Mr. Batiste.
Against.
Mr. Pawlowski.
Against.
Mr. Vancouverden.
Against.
Ms. Zan.
Against.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Melillo.
I am in favor.
Mr. Vidal.
In favor.
Mr. Viersen.
Yep.
Madame Gill.
Oui.
Ms. Gazan.
Against.
Mr. Chair, nays 6, yeas 5.
The amendment is lost. Now we go to the preamble as amended. Correct? No further amendments. I don't see any. Thank you. Mr. Clerk, a recorded division on the preamble as amended.
Recorded vote on the preamble, Mr. Nandasangari.
In favor.
Mr. Batiste.
In favor.
Mr. Pawlowski.
For.
Mr. Vancouverden.
For.
Ms. Zan.
In favor.
Mr. Schmale.
Against.
Mr. Melillo.
Against.
Mr. Vidal.
No.
Mr. Viersen.
Nope.
Madame Gill.
En faveur.
Ms. Gazan.
In favor.
Mr. Chair, yeas 7, nays 4.
Preamble is carried. The short title. Shall the short title carry? Mr. Clerk.
Recorded vote on the short title, Mr. Nandasangari.
In favor.
Mr. Batiste.
In favor.
Mr. Pawlowski.
In favor.
Mr. Vancouverden.
I'm sorry, am I connected right now? I just went out for a second.
Yes, Mr. Vancouverden, we're conducting a recorded vote on the short title.
I'm sorry, I don't know how my party is voting on this one because it wasn't attached for a second.
Your colleagues have voted in favor so far.
In favor, sorry for the hiccup.
Ms. Zan.
In favor.
Mr. Schmale.
In favor.
Mr. Melillo.
In favor.
Mr. Vidal.
Yes.
Mr. Viersen.
Yes.
Madame Gill.
En faveur.
Ms. Gazan.
In favor.
Mr. Chair, yeas 11, nays 0.
The short title carries.
Mr. Chair, may I ask the remaining votes to be on division without a recorded vote?
We don't need to record if that's okay with everyone, or I can apply the votes.
On division's fine.
On division's fine.
Okay. Anyone opposed to the title carrying? I don't see any opposition. No, that was a short title. Now the long title.
On division.
On division. Everything's on division.
Okay, right. And are there any opposed to the title? And I don't see any opposition. So, Mr. Clerk, I will say that that carries on division. Shall the bill as amended carry?
On division.
Everything's on division, Clerk. Your Chair.
Any opposition to the bill as amended carrying? I see no opposition, Mr. Clerk. We're good. Shall the chair report the bill as amended to the House? On division, any opposition?
On division.
Division, I'm seeing none. I see no opposition. And so we carry the bill as amended. And shall the committee order a reprint of the bill as amended for the use of the House at report stage? On division, is anyone objecting? I see. I call on division. No objections to that. That carries. And with 1 minute to spare, I'm happy to say that we've concluded the matter before us today, and apologize for any problems that I may have created along the way, but I think all of us had a lot of paper flying around and a lot of things to consider, and I want to thank our staff for helping me to proceed along with the rest of us. And I think that we can take a lot of pride in getting to the point where we are today at 2 o'clock. The bill has carried, and I declare this meeting adjourned.